Okay, Oklahoma. I had no problems in thinking that Oklahoma could beat South Carolina. I may have said South Carolina was going to win, but I had no problems thinking that they could beat South Carolina. Texas A&M, on the other hand, no, I did not think they could beat Texas A&M, but they did. Now they're facing Arkansas, who is tied for the second team in the SEC. And it's coached by John Calipari, who, well, got a national championship under his belt, got many Elite Eight. What he did at Memphis, at UMass, he took him to the Elite Eight and Final Four at UMass. Took Memphis to the Elite Eight, was a Division One runner up, was the NIT champion. Yeah, this man doesn't know how not to have a 20-win season. After his first two seasons at UMass, which he went 10-18 and 17-14, he's done nothing but have 20 and 30-win seasons. Okay, he had one season that he went 9-16 at Kentucky. But now his last 4 years after the COVID season at Kentucky were bad, but he took Arkansas last season to the Sweet 16. Porter Mosier, not a bad coach. He's made it to the Final Four with Loyola. What he did at Loyola, I can understand why Oklahoma did it. Um, this game against Texas A&M, I mean, for Pete's sakes, 46% field goal shooting, 27% three-point shooting, but that was still better than A&M. 72% free throw shooting, way more rebounds. They rebounded the heck out of this game. They had 29 defensive rebounds and 19 offensive rebounds, 48-33 on rebounds. Uh, 16-12 on assists. They led in assists. Steals, they stole 6 times to A&M's 5 blocks. They had 5 blocks to A&M's 1. They only had 7 turnovers. A&M had 10. They both had the same amount of points off turnovers. They had 19 fast break points to A&M's 10. Points in the paint, they had 42 to A&M's 30. They only had 13 fouls to A&M's 14. So, yeah, they dominated that game. Now they're facing a John Calipari-led team. And Arkansas, both Alabama and Arkansas went 23-8. Both went 13-5. 23-8 overall, 13-5 in conference. Now Alabama went 19-14 in the or overall in 7-11. So they're a bubble team. What they do in this game could determine a lot. If they win this game, they're definitely in the NCAA, but they're going to be a bubble team right now. So we're going to see how this game's going to play out via the numbers. Via, whatever. Rednecks try to pronounce words correctly. Go figure. But that being said, this is going to be a fascinating game. It really is because these two teams, wow. Yeah. Let's just get into there's some similarities, some differences, and it's just going to come down to who can get the ball in the hole more and prevent the other guy from doing it. So let's do it. Before we get into the crux of this video, hit like, hit subscribe if you like college sports, because I do college sports, primarily college football, college women's gymnastics, do a little basketball, and other sports on occasion, but that's what I do, college. Also, General Robert Neyland, former University of Tennessee head football coach for decades, had 7 maxims to win any game, but they can also help you if you apply them correctly to your life. The second one is play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. That is a maxim that can be also applied to your life. Look for those breaks and take it. Oklahoma's way lower seeded, so we're going to start with them. They score 82.7 points a game. They're 46th in the nation for that. but they allow 76.9. 46.8 field goal percentage, or 82nd in that. 74.5 free throw percentage. 37.2 3-point percentage. They're 29th in the nation in that. That's not bad. They make 9.9 3 points a game. They're 40th in that. 14 assists a game. They're not playing as a team. That is probably their biggest weakness. 32.1 rebounds per game, 9.7 turnovers, 3.8 block shots. There's the second biggest weakness. They have 6.4 steals. I don't know if that's a weakness or not. Seriously. Nigel Pack, that we've talked about, leads in points and assists. 29.7 minutes, 16 and a half points, 30.1 rebounds, 3.1 assists, zero point 0.7 steals, 0.3 blocks, 1.8 turnovers, 47.7 field goal percentage, 45.3 3-point percentage, and 84.6 free throw percentage. Xavier Brown, who leads in steals, 31.9 minutes, 15.6 points, 3.1 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 1.3 steals, zero point 0.2 blocks, 1.6 turnovers, 46.8 field goal percentage, 36.6 3-point percentage, and 88.5 free throw percentage. They've got some shooters. Tay Davis, 29.2 minutes, 12.4 points, 5.8 rebounds, 2.2 assists, 0.6 steals, 0.2 blocks, 1.7 turnovers, 50.2 field goal percentage. He's a forward, so, 67.6 free throw percentage, but 19.1 3-point percentage. Darian Reed, 27.4 minutes, 11.7 points, 4.6 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 0.5 steals, 0.3 blocks, 1.1 turnovers, 50.2 field goal percentage, 35.6 3-point percentage, and 74.8 free throw percentage. Also, Muhammad Wad, a forward, 6.8 rebounds, 1.5 blocks. He leads in both those categories. Sixth leading scorer with 7 points. This team's got 4 really good shooters up front, and they've got good shooters in the backup. Team's a good, solid team. In all honesty, I would not be surprised if they make the NCAA, and they still, they're a good team. End of story. They've already proven it against Texas A&M, even during the regular season. They've got a very solid team. That's the only way to describe it. Okay, so let's cover Arkansas. 90.2 points a game. They're fourth in the nation on that. They're allowing 80 points a game. 50.3 field goal percentage. They're 12th in the nation on that. That's some elite shooting right there. 74.5 free throw percentage. That's tied with Sooners. 38.3 3-point percentage, or 14th in the nation on that. That's better than the Sooners. 8.2 3-points made per game, though. 17.1 assists. So they're playing as a team. They're 28th in the nation on that. 32.2 defensive rebounds. Not that good. That's a weakness for them. 8.8 turnovers. They're 14th on that one. 5.2 block shots a game. They're 14th in the nation on that one as well. And 7.3 steals. Arkansas has Darius Acuff being the leader in points, assists, 34.7 minutes, 22.2 points, 3 rebounds, 6.4 assists. So he knows how to get the ball out to the right people if he can't make the shot. 0.8 steals, 0.4 blocks, 2 turnovers though. Hey, he makes up for it in other ways. 49.3 field goal percentage, 43.7 3-point percentage, and 79.4 free throw percentage. Straight up gunner. Malik Thomas, 29.4 minutes, 15.4 points, 3.9 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1.5 steals. He's tied with Trevon Brazil on that one in the steals category. 0.2 blocks, 0.9 turnovers, 42.8 field goal percentage, 41.7 3-point percentage, and 83.7 free throw percentage. Trevin Brazil, like I said, he leads in blocks, rebounds. He's a forward and tied for steals leader. 31.1 minutes, 13.1 points, 7.1 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 1.5 steals, 1.6 blocks, 1.1 turnover, 53.5 field goal percentage, and he's a forward with the 35.6 3-point percentage, 74.1 free throw percentage. Billy Richmond, 26 minutes, 11.1 points, 3.9 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.1 steals, zero point 0.8 blocks, 1.2 turnovers, 57.4 field goal percentage, but he's only got a 24.4 3-point percentage and 80.3 free throw percentage. In other words, these guys know how to shoot. They've got Malik Ewan, who's at 9.7 points, so he's almost at double digits. These guys are doing what they need to do. Maybe could be better in rebound. That seems to be a little bit of a weakness. Blocking, high rate right there. Not bad on skills, but could be better. Only got one guy over only got one guy at 2 turnovers. Their shooting percentage is crazy. When they get to shooting, man, do they get to be shooting this. I mean, they're 17th in the nation. So for them to be 17th in the nation and doing this, in all honesty, you can see them making it to the Sweet 16, maybe even the Elite 8 with what they're doing. I'm looking at these two teams. Now, Oklahoma, in all honesty, is a solid team. Them going 7-11 in conference play, a little bit surprising with what their numbers are. But Arkansas, you know, 13-5 in the SEC, 23-8 overall. They're ranked 17th. I am not shocked at what these two teams are doing. Arkansas did lose to Florida in when they played each other. Oklahoma's been on a hot streak, but I'm looking at this and I'm going, shooting wise, they're solid. They both are about the same on rebounds. A teamwork, Arkansas is far better at it. Blocking, far better at it. Steals, not too much. They're better at that. Uh, they really can score. Their defense is a little weak though, but they're making up for it. They did a really good job against Oklahoma earlier on in the season. I'm looking at these two teams, and honestly, I'm looking, and it was 83-79 against Oklahoma earlier on. This is a team, they got beat by Florida, Alabama in double overtime. I mean, seriously, it took double overtime. Yeah, they did get beat by Kentucky, but Kentucky's a good team. Georgia beat them. Auburn beat them, which is shocking, especially the score. They got beat by Houston, which is a good team, and Duke and Michigan State. You know, they played national powerhouses. I'm thinking, looking at this, Oklahoma, hey, they did decent so far, but, you know, this is John Calipari's area of expertise. I'm thinking this is going to be woo pig suey. I really do. I think this is going to be a woo pig suey. They're going to be calling the hogs tonight. That's the way I think this is going. I could be wrong because Oklahoma has been surprising, but hey, John Calipari, you'll never count that guy out, especially when it comes to tournaments. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. Hey, folks, before you leave, if you're Can't become a member via my YouTube channel, which that's for my thinker. I've also got sports. I've got a Patreon. If you really, really want to help me out, I would be much appreciated. But hey, hitting like, hit subscribe, hit commenting, all those things really help me out. Have a good day.